There's life throughout the universe. We're not alone in the universe at all.
In 1962, a lone man in a small metal capsule sailed through space. John Glenn was the first American astronaut to orbit the Earth.
The view is tremendous.
As he passed from night into day, he saw what he called the strangest sight of the entire flight.
I am in a big mass of some very small particles that are brilliantly lit up like they're luminescent. I never saw anything like it. There are literally thousands of them. They're coming by the capsule. They're going at the same speed I am, approximately. They do have a different motion, though, from me. They swirl around the capsule and then depart back the way that I am looking. And they're not coming from the capsule. There's something that's already up here. Because they're all over the sky, as far as I can see, in each direction almost.
Fireflies is exactly what they look like. That's the way I described them.
We were really not sure after John flew whether or not there were critters, living critters out there somewhere.
When NASA wrote its history of the Mercury program, they called it This New Ocean. The atmospheric ocean. Could this new ocean also hold new life? What if John Glenn saw living things? Some kind of bioluminescent organisms, like plankton of the atmosphere.
Who doesn't love a good scary story or a weird mystery? Some of my favorites involve unidentified flying objects. I'm Scott DeShane. To help teach about conservation, I've studied natural resources, habitats, and the seemingly endless power and variety of life. I began to apply these concepts to the mystery of UFOs. What I've found may at first seem totally crazy, but give me a chance and you just might find it makes perfect sense. I'd like to share with you a new view of our atmosphere using a wealth of scientific data gathered from over 50 years of NASA missions. From engineer to astronaut to tech, the people of NASA have amassed a wealth of scientific data from which a secret screams to be revealed. One simple but revolutionary truth: our atmosphere is a habitat, providing homes for a wide variety of life forms. We know our oceans contain a vast variety of life forms. We're constantly discovering new species. Our atmosphere has 5 million times more volume than Earth's oceans. Rich with water, minerals, and energy, it has all the resources to support life. There is no hard line between water and sky. We find instead an interface of constant exchange. Life moves between sea, sky, and land in a complex but unified planetary system. NASA's secret science is a planetary biology, which may encompass marine biology, terrestrial biology, and a new science of aerobiology, the study of life in the sky.
We see many creatures move between sea and sky. Mosquitoes, flying fish, even luminous flying squid that jet and glide through the air for miles. At almost every level of the atmosphere, we see a huge variety of what may be living things. We may call some of them Sprites, ball lightning, mystery lights, and UFOs.
What we call UFOs are simply unidentified objects traveling in the skies. They could be secret military projects or visitors from outside our planet, but the UFO evidence may point instead to a biological answer. living things in the sky. Aerial animals may resemble marine animals. The two most commonly reported shapes of UFOs are the saucer or disc shapes and the cigar or rocket shapes. What marine animals look like discs and cigars? Jellyfish and squid.
These two large and successful groups of animals are particularly well suited for life in a fluid environment. Many unexplained aerial phenomena resemble these invertebrates in many ways. They look like marine animals. They have the same shapes. Many appear translucent, like gelatinous invertebrates. What is visible in bright light may only be a saucer shape, perhaps a dense central ring of muscle. Many display trailing tails or tentacles. So-called UFOs often move like animals. They pulse, they change shape, and they expand and contract. They seem to interact with each other. Many UFOs seem to act with purpose and intelligence. Some think that means intelligent pilots. Could some UFOs actually be creatures that are themselves intelligent? We live at the bottom of an ocean of air. This tiny sliver between soil, sea, and sky is where we live our lives.
We take the rich, fluid atmosphere for granted, yet it surrounds, protects, and provides for us all the time. It's our habitat. When we start to explore it as a potential habitat for others, we find a lot.
We find another way UFOs resemble marine animals. They appear in likely habitats. A habitat is an area that provides resources for life. Life is more common at edges where two or more types of habitats overlap. This edge effect gives life access to resources from both habitats. For example, at the edge of a field and forest, a bird can hunt for food in the field and can shelter from predators in the forest. We find large and rich habitat edges in the sky above large thunderstorms, where heavy, moist air meets clear air. Every day, about 200 massive thunderstorms roar around the planet. What do we see there? Above storms, scientists have recently observed what they call sprites. They've seen what they call a new aerial bestiary, a display of unusual creatures. Scientists say sprites look like giant jellyfish, but these massive objects can be 30 to 100 miles tall. At first, scientists thought they were forms of lightning, brief electrical phenomena. Now they have detected chemical changes in the air near sprites. They've recorded many sprites of the same design. Sometimes similar sprites appear in groups and even seem to interact with each other. They've even watched the same sprites persist for up to 30 minutes. They have recently detected deep, rumbling infrasound from sprites, even in clear daylight weather. They detect massive gravity waves coming from sprites, as if they are giants swimming in the atmosphere.
Could sprites really be alive? They persist for up to 30 minutes. They make chemical changes in the air. They create noise and force like something enormous swimming. Maybe we're acting the tale of the blind men and the elephant, sensing just parts of a bigger living thing. If swarms of living UFOs and sprite giants really do live in the sky, we should see them from above.
We've only started exploring the sky, from hot air balloons about 250 years ago to the first powered flight just over 100 years ago. As flight grew, so did the list of UFO reports. In World War II, more airplane pilots filled the skies than at any time before in history. Allied pilots reported flying balls of light that tailed and chased their planes. Some called them Foo Fighters. After World War II, experienced pilots entered a growing commercial aviation business. In 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing discs that changed shape as they seemed to skip across the sky.
He believed the flashes were emitted from the center of their surfaces. Now, this is what everybody really needs to hear. The flashes emitted from the center of their surfaces were similar to, in pulsation, to the rhythm and beating of a human heart. And the secret really over here, I guess, sitting in my house, is the fact that my dad believed that they were alive. They were not mechanical craft in any way, shape, or form.
The term flying saucers was minted from Arnold's report. Post-war media hyped the sighting. People started looking up and saw UFOs, lots of them. In 1952, a formation of glowing objects over Washington, D.C. sparked a nationwide scare. The U.S. Air Force held a press conference to calm fears.
Since 1947, we have received and analyzed between 1,000 and 2,000 reports. There have been a certain percentage of this volume of reports that have been made by credible observers of relatively incredible things. It is this group of observations that we now are attempting to resolve.
The Air Force started investigating UFOs soon after Arnold's initial sighting. Their first report said that many acted more like animals than anything else. The inventor of ground-based radar sensed hundreds of discs moving high up in the sky. He said they had to be animals. Kenneth Arnold, the man whose sightings sparked a craze, studied them for the rest of his life. His conclusion? They are atmospheric animals. Many don't realize the incredible variety, number, and nature of UFO reports. They parallel nature's awesome designs for marine life. We've just started exploring the sky. Today, cameras worldwide find more evidence almost every day. We'll see even more as technology further develops. We've even found physical evidence, residue from the sky, with the same minerals as marine life.
The best way to grow aerobiology and planetary biology is to get new evidence, to study the sky. Until that day, we can review the best and strongest evidence we already have. Some of that comes from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA.
NASA was started in 1958. NASA replaced the earlier National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, or NACA. It was driven by a race with the Russians to control space, combined with a fierce American spirit of technological exploration. Here we hope to present highlights of just a few NASA incidents. Some early footage may seem crude by today's standards. For each clip, we'll review the best original version that we have to show the context. Then we may use enhancements to see more detail or motion. We may zoom in or crop a clip. We may shift time, slowing down or speeding up the clip to show motion. Sometimes inverting or filtering a clip helps show shapes our eyes may miss. Explore this new ocean. See for yourself what may be weird, beautiful, and awesome new creatures. In 1991, NASA deployed a brand new way of looking at the atmosphere, the Cryogenically Infrared Radiance Instrumentation for Shuttle, CIRRUS.
All right, we hear you loud and clear.
This actual footage, using a very low-light camera, appears to show many objects that pulse and change shape as they move. See how some change direction, sometimes several times. By just slightly shifting the range of our vision, what amazing objects we see. Look at this object change direction. And another speeds off. In September 1991, shuttle mission STS-48 deployed an upper atmospheric research satellite. This UARS contained 10 new devices to sense and measure the atmosphere. During the mission, the crew used a low-light camera capable of recording levels of light beyond the human eye's ability to see. Here is what they saw as they looked at the lighted limb of Earth's atmosphere. Again, note how the objects are visible only at the dawn habitat region. Notice how they pulse, almost as if browsing. Here it is again with some highlights. Notice the flash. Then this object changes direction. Then we tilt down to see this object pulsing. Like a jellyfish, as it enters the sunlit area, the transparent parts of its body wash out, leaving visible only its dense center, a classic flying saucer shape. This is only one small area of Earth's vast sky, but this looks as if we are peering into a vital habitat. In November 1995, the crew of shuttle mission STS-74 took this footage as they approached the International Space Station. This piece of footage survived almost by chance. It is a visitor's video camera recording of a video feed on the Russian Space Center's monitor. See the objects pulsing as they move. Note several that pass by in the foreground. These objects seem curious to watch the shuttle dock to the space station. Then you see one you didn't notice, right up close to the station. It seems to peer inside as it slowly passes. Do such things regularly watch the astronauts? Crews on several missions saw objects as they approached the space station. Note the many different types of individual objects in this one sequence as the shuttle slowly nears the space station. NASA improved their low-light cameras, revealing things that no human eye could see alone. In late 1996, during shuttle mission STS-80, they turned these sensitive cameras toward giant thunderstorms in the atmosphere below. Notice the object enter the storm's thick, rich stew of water, electricity, and minerals. Moments later, a glowing object emerges and then drifts away. What are these huge disc-shaped things? Could we possibly be looking down from above at what some call sprites? Could they be browsing, soaking up rich nutrients and water around the storms?
This may simply be an amazing piece of natural history. If these objects are indeed alive, the range of life shown on this one clip could be revolutionary.
Speeding up and repeating the footage helps us see the amazing amount of activity in our planet's atmosphere. Think of the vast scale of this potential habitat as you note the many different types of movement.
The crew of STS-80 saw another, even more remarkable event. They witnessed a gathering in space.
As the shuttle flies above the atmosphere, a group of large translucent disks gathers below. Several fly by the shuttle to join the formation. The objects glow and seem to form a ring. A final object flies right by the shuttle, moves to the center of the ring, and then flares with light. This is not random movement. This appears to be directed behavior. Is it a social or mating ritual between the objects? Could it be some kind of message, a signal, perhaps even a map? Is it between them, for us, or for something else? This formation is one of the most puzzling things yet witnessed by mankind, and it could be one of the most important. STS-96 was the first shuttle flight to dock with the International Space Station. Their 10-day mission revealed some interesting sights. This blob pulsed past a solar panel on the space station. As the shuttle and ISS passed over Houston at night, they filmed with a low-light camera. Perhaps the most interesting observation was a storm off the coast of Florida. You can see the actual shape of the Florida coastline, with many of its major cities glowing in the low-light camera lens. That whole state gives some idea of the enormous size of the thunderstorm off the coast. Note the many objects that seem to come and go and browse around the storm. Earth's atmosphere is 78% nitrogen. Nitrogen is vital for all life that we know. But gaseous nitrogen must be catalyzed or fixed before living things can use it. Lightning in the atmosphere catalyzes nitrogen, dropping tons of nutrients that help fertilize soil. Perhaps aerial creatures browse and feed on the rich nutrients created by the storm. In 2006, STS-115 was the first mission to return to the International Space Station after the Columbia disaster. NASA was rightly cautious about taking risks, so when the crew of the shuttle Atlantis reported an object moving near them in space, NASA delayed their landing to check things out. They saw multiple pulsing objects. They worried that they could be debris from damage to the shuttle, but as they looked closer, they saw differently.
Hey, Houston, we got somebody out the front window with a pair of binoculars and a zoom lens. We're trying to get a pretty good idea on this thing.
Okay, we're seeing 3 or 4 objects. Can you confirm that it's just the one that's actually moving? The other ones are just reflections?
No, there are 3 objects. The best way I can describe it is a structure that's definitely not rigid, or it's not a solid metal structure. Doesn't look like anything I've ever seen on the outside of the shuttle. That's for sure.
Astronauts downloaded these photographs, taken from the shuttle window. Here is how NASA discussed the objects.
Over the years, we have chased many, many, many of these things, maybe not with the visibility that this one has gotten, and rarely, if ever, been able to pinpoint exactly where they came from, and always finding out that it didn't pose us any hazard.
This incident points out the need to learn more about our atmosphere for safety's sake. Thankfully, these particular objects did not endanger the shuttle, but who knows what is still up there, unseen. In 2006, STS-121 soared above South America. As the astronauts slept, cameras captured an object emerging through the clouds over the Amazon basin.
This is Mission Control Houston, with you with live video from the Space Shuttle Discovery. In this view, you can see thunderstorms and lightning as the vehicles are just crossing over the coast of South America.
You've seen many strange and wonderful sights, but what you're about to see now may be one of the most important recordings in scientific history.
On February 22, 1996, Space Shuttle Columbia launched from Kennedy Space Center to conduct mission STS-75. The mission had one primary goal. They were to deploy a satellite at the end of a 12.9-mile-long tether. The tether was to build a charge from the electrically charged layer of Earth's atmosphere called the ionosphere. But near full deployment, the tether broke. Shuttle and tether flew apart from each other. Using special cameras, the shuttle kept the charged, glowing tether in sight. Nearly 100 miles away, the tether approached sunrise. As the shuttle watched from night's darkness, the tether was swarmed.
Columbia and the satellite now 77 nautical miles apart. Again, that call reporting that the crew can see the tether and see the satellite. It's beautiful. The satellite, again, just moving into sunrise. 81 nautical miles now from Columbia.
Franklin, we see a long line, a couple of star-like things, and a lot of things swimming in the foreground. Can you describe what you're seeing?
Well, the long line is a tether, and there's a little bit of debris that kind of flies with us, and it's illuminated by the sun at such low angles. So there's a lot of stray light, and it's getting washed out quickly, but Claude is trying to do a quick, good job here adjusting the cameras.
Copy that. Columbia, Houston, that's a much better view, a lot more contrast visible.
I tried to adjust the focus, but I can't get better than that.
Okay, Claude. Thank you.
Let's examine this footage in more detail. Just look at the incredible number of objects around the tether. As the tether nears them, they seem to swarm it like curious creatures. The tether and the objects are just at the edge of sunlight and darkness. Otherwise, these objects might not be visible. The objects are 88 to 100 miles away from the shuttle, as a microscope may give only a blurry view of microbial life. The shuttle's cameras may be showing just a hint of these atmospheric objects. We are probably seeing just part of their full structure. Note the shadow in the center of each object. If these are indeed organisms like jellyfish, their dense central body structure may cast that shadow. The objects pulse as if using a ring of muscle to propel themselves. For objects so large, the speed of this pulsing movement is amazing. Compare the movement of one of these objects with the movement of an atmospheric sprite. Could these atmospheric phenomena be the same or related? The objects around the tether change direction. Some seem to swerve to avoid each other. These objects clearly pass behind the 12-mile-long tether. Depending on how far behind they pass, these objects may be dozens of miles across. A twist of fate saved this footage from oblivion. NASA's satellite downlink used to be broadcast on an open link. A program director at a Canadian public access cable station used their satellite access to record hundreds of hours of NASA transmissions. He observed and shared many puzzling events, including the tether incident. NASA observers on the ground with telescopes also recorded the tether as it glowed with power in the sky. Note this squid-like object that seems to change direction to inspect it. Could this really be a swarm of giant atmospheric life?
NASA may have unknowingly discovered a whole new world of life in our own atmosphere. Now they and other scientific investigators face huge opportunities. Here are some ways we can study life in the atmosphere.
Ground-based observations have already revealed numerous objects moving through the skies. Ground observers can focus on the near skies using cameras that record visible light, as well as the infrared and ultraviolet ends of the spectrum. They can use radar, magnifying lenses, low-light cameras, and coronagraphs to reveal unseen objects in the sky. We can try to collect samples with large nets, as we collect birds with mist nets. In 2009, a wind turbine in England was severely damaged when it was hit by what witnesses said was one of a group of glowing orange-yellow spheres, some trailing tentacles skimming across the sky. If one wind turbine can accidentally reveal a tentacled low-flying object, what might we collect on purpose? Using wind turbines and other structures, we can raise platforms to the sky. We can watch with high-speed cameras. Balloons and kites can be tethered and spooled out to observe greater heights. But to really know the sky, we may have to leave the ground and spend some time up there. We can explore different levels and regions of the sky. Likely targets for study include habitat edges like the edges of storms and the always-moving dawn habitat region. We can deploy visual sensing devices. New unmanned flying drone technology will let us peer into wild places no human has ever seen before. New drone designs may let us hover for long periods for extended observation of aerial frontiers. Dare we send aloft flyers in pressurized suits to hover and swim like reverse scuba divers? Imagine craft-like submarines, but to explore the sky instead of the sea. Space-based study may reveal new habitats in our atmosphere. Satellites and space stations may see new worlds by shifting focus through the rich and varied fluid sky, like adjusting focus of a microscope through a drop of water. As at lower levels of the atmosphere, high-level dragnets and other collection devices may help us sample the range of life.
If we actively examine our own atmosphere, our ocean of air, we may find we are surrounded by numerous life forms. Such life forms may affect the atmosphere, our environment. They may play a vital role in our climate, helping regulate moisture and minerals. We may also play an important role in their habitat.
Just as there is no hard line between sea and sky, there is no hard line at the edge of Earth's atmosphere and space. Could some atmospheric organisms possibly also be extraterrestrial? Carl Sagan speculated that giant floating organisms like jellyfish might live on Jupiter. Arthur C. Clarke proposed that giant jellyfish might swim on Jupiter's moon, Europa. Some scientists think hardy jellyfish eggs may travel through the sky to freshwater ponds, where they can suddenly appear by the millions. Could similar eggs travel through space to the warm, moist atmosphere of Earth? Sometimes invertebrate populations explode, as with toxic red tides or jellyfish blooms. When jellyfish grow so large and numerous, they clog water intake valves. Can we prepare for similar aerial red tides? There may be many lessons we could learn from creatures that live in the sky. Could they be intelligent? Maybe not by our human standards, which says intelligence is acting like we do, but they may be incredible survivors, facing life's challenges with a variety of strategies. We use our brains, hands, and tools. They may produce light to communicate, stun and capture prey with physical and chemical weapons, grow to great size, unlimited by a skeleton.
If there are powerful aerial creatures, they may affect our lives in ways we don't even know. In our quest to reach space, we may have found a new world of life right here on Earth. Now it's time to look to our own skies and discover the life above.
NASA's work has forever changed our view of the world. This is among NASA's greatest works. This was NASA's greatest secret. The secret science of planetary and perhaps interplanetary biology. Now it stands revealed to you.
We're not alone in the universe at all.